Hello, and welcome to episode 9 of the BigSlice Gamescast. I am your host, Corey Stroby, and with me again, I have Jessica.
Hola.
So just to jump right into the topics, yesterday, actually, while I was, we're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct that happened, I think, last week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was rewatching it and writing stuff down, and while I was online, I saw a tweet from Jeff Keighley, and if you're watching the video version, I'll have the tweet up right now. Jeff Keighley tweeted something about seeing, actually I'll open it right now to just read directly from it. It says, "And here we go. See you later this month." And he tagged Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann. And Neil Druckmann is the director of, he was the director of Uncharted 4 and The Last of Us. And there's apparently a media event for The Last of Us Part 2 on the 24th of September. You're an Xbox person, right? So you probably haven't played The Last of Us.
No, I haven't, unfortunately. It looks good, though.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. I named my dog after somebody in it. Ellie is one of the main characters in the game. And she follows you around and stuff. But yeah, The Last of Us Part 2 has a media event coming up on the 24th, and that's it. That's all the news that came out of that specifically. Is just that tweet. And it's literally it just says The Last of Us Part 2 media event, September 24th, 2019. And it just says Los Angeles, California. Please RSVP to your PR contact. And nothing else. Nobody has said anything else about it, which I think is pretty natural, I guess. But I mean, a lot of people are super hyped about it because that game has gone silent for like the last quite a while, I think. I don't even remember when we heard anything more about it. But
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so that popped up yesterday while I was putting together the show notes or the topics list. But anyway,
We'll see what happens or what it means.
Yeah. Okay, so the first main topic is sort of the sales list from Amazon. So the article is the best-selling games product on Amazon last month was a Switch screen protector. This is by James Batchelor over at gamesindustry.biz. It says Amazon's biggest selling games product from the video games category in August was a Switch screen protector. That's according to research by analysts at Thinknum, who tracked the sales ranking for each item that held onto a place in the Amazon bestsellers list every day of the last month. Looking specifically at the video games category, the company found that of the top 20 products that achieved this, only 10 were actually video games. A further 6, out of 20, only 10 were video games. A further 6 were controllers and other accessories, while 4 were digital codes for memberships to Xbox Live Gold and PlayStation Plus or store currency. And Nintendo dominated the month. The biggest selling product of the month, with an average ranking of 5.7 in the bestsellers list, was the AM film, or the AM film. I don't know. The AM film? What?
I don't know. I think it's AM, but I could be wrong. No, because AM would be capitalized. I don't know.
Well, you know how to spell it now. Was the AM film tempered glass screen protector for Nintendo Switch, which came in a pack of 2. This was one of 3 Switch accessories in the top 20, alongside the official Pro controller and a portable carry case. Meanwhile, 6 of the 10 best-selling games were from Nintendo, ranging from ongoing hits such as Zelda Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to July's Fire Emblem Three Houses and pre-orders for next month's Link's Awakening remaster.
Mhm.
Below, you can find the top-selling games on Amazon for August, according to ThinkNum. And I'll just run down the list. So you have Smash Ultimate for the Switch, Minecraft for PC, which is an online game code, Madden NFL 20 for PS4, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for Switch, Zelda Breath of the Wild for Switch, Super Mario Maker 2 for Switch, Marvel's Spider-Man for PlayStation 4, Fire Emblem Three Houses for Switch, Zelda Link's Awakening for Switch, and Madden NFL 20 for Xbox One. And that's in order from top to bottom. The article continues saying it's worth noting August is historically a quiet month for new video game releases, but with Switch Lite, Zelda Link's Awakening, and several other third-party titles due on Nintendo's console next month, the platform holder could maintain a strong position in the Amazon bestseller rankings. So, Nintendo had a very, very good month.
Yeah. Considering, for the top 10, Nintendo held 60% of it, so.
Yeah. And that's games alone.
Right, yeah, including their controllers and the screen protectors.
Yeah. That list was games alone, sorry. But where was the actual statistic? It did say that the number one thing was the tempered glass screen protector, which it looks like that's a third party.
I think most of them are, honestly, for when it comes to screen protectors.
Even a lot for screen protectors. I know there was for a little while back in the beginning of the life cycle of the Nintendo Switch, there were people using like third-party docks. And they immediately started warning everybody not to use them or to be very careful of them. There was one company specifically that I don't know if anyone listening listens to like IGN. Brian Altano, kind of one of the main people there, or one of the better known IGN people. I don't remember if it was him or someone else that used a third-party dock, and it bricked his Switch.
Ooh.
Yeah. IGN third-party Switch dock.
I can see that happening though. Like, I feel like for me, when it comes to like actual hardware for electronics, you should always stick to, the actual maker.
Yeah.
Like for, Apple, like the iPhones and stuff, I like to try and stick with the iPhone chargers. They're expensive, but I feel like there's less of a chance that could, F up my phone,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. I would feel the same way. Like if you put your Switch into a dock that's not Nintendo, there's so many things that could possibly happen.
Yeah, I don't really trust third-party anything. I have a third-party phone charger, I think. But it's like right off of Amazon. It's one of Amazon's or like it's made by Amazon, I think, for my phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I have yet to see anything bad happen with it. But when it comes to like my Switch, I am not going to take any chances on third-party stuff. A screen protector isn't touching any of the actual hardware.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. I only do that with actual hardware. When it comes to screen protectors, I don't give a crap.
Yeah. If it's going to be plugging into the Switch, I'm not going third-party. Just because I'm not going to trust a third-party plug or anything like that, especially when back in the beginning, there was a specific company, and now I can't remember what it was. see if I can find it. Third-party Switch dock.
Nyko? NYKO?
That sounds right.
I'll say there's a Reddit subreddit about it. Yeah, that does look very not safe. I can send you the link. Hold on, so you can put it in the video. Almost sent it to somebody else. Oops. Okay.
Oh, maybe that's not it.
Are you sure?
Oh,
Because I'm looking.
that could be. That has to be. Oh, did you send it to my Facebook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, let me pull it up really quick. Okay. Yeah, that's where I was. Okay. Okay, yeah, so they're talking about a lot of different ones. But yeah, Nico or Nico, whatever it is. Nico? Who knows?
Well, in the little thing, it says, for those that are new to this subreddit and are owning a Nintendo Switch, Nyko made a third-party dock that was responsible for breaking numerous Switches, and there's now a lawsuit pending against the manufacturer.
Oh.
That was on May 1st in Newsweek. So, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, I do remember there was one specifically that bricked somebody's Switch at IGN. And I want to say it was Brian Altano, but it could have been he had a couple incidents with his Switch. I know for a little while there was an issue of I forgot what I was going to say.
My question, not to derail you even more, but my question is like, why would somebody buy a dock? It comes with a dock.
I think there was a yeah, it would come with a dock unless there was one that sold separately.
I mean, that would be the Switch Lite, but that one's not supposed to dock.
Right.
So like unless you bought a Switch from a person, I guess would be maybe the only thing.
It looks like you could have gotten a Switch without a dock. So it was cheaper. You could get it for like maybe
where? From like
from Nintendo.
From a store, would it?
Yeah, because I think for a little while Nintendo was I think Nintendo at some point Nintendo started selling Switches without docks. Like you could get a Switch without a dock for cheaper. But now
maybe that's why they decided to go with the Lite.
Yeah, that they do that all the time anyway, selling smaller ones. True. But anyway, that's a little off topic either way. So yeah, the top games or the top stuff on the Amazon list, Nintendo kind of dominated that month. Yeah, like 6 out of the 10 top games were Nintendo games. And the number one thing being third-party screen protector for the Switch, which I don't know why Nintendo wouldn't start making screen protectors for the Switch themselves, because I'm sure they could make a lot of money off of that. But yeah, so the list is I'll have a link to that actual article in the show notes and in the YouTube description so that anyone can go look at that article and see the list for themselves. But yeah, that pretty much covers that topic. Moving on to a little bit more of a heartbreaking, and it's not horrible news, but it's bad news for a specific studio or for a specific game. Anyone who saw the Ghostwire Tokyo trailer or that presentation at E3, Ikumi Nakamura, the director of that game, pretty much stole the show at E3. Like, everyone loved her, but she left. She left the studio. So this is Ikumi Nakamura departs Tango ZeniMax. This is by Rebecca Valentine over at GamesIndustry.biz. It says Ikumi Nakamura has announced her departure from Tango and ZeniMax, where she had been working as creative director and art director on Ghostwire Tokyo. Nakamura's role at Tango has lasted over 9 years, seeing her work on projects including The Evil Within and its sequel as an artist and designer. Prior to this, she was a concept artist at Platinum Games on Bayonetta and an environment artist at Capcom. In a LinkedIn post announcing her departure, Nakamura did not indicate whether or not she was pursuing a specific new role or elsewhere. So the actual post, she wrote, and keep in mind that her English is not like perfect. So this is what she typed this out in English herself. So it says, she wrote, quote, "After 9 years as creative director and art director at Tango and ZeniMax, I felt here is one of the ends of the journeys. I learned from the talented people I've worked with and I respect. For several years, I've been doing my best to create the Ghostwire Tokyo, which has felt like my child. I've also decided to proceed to the new world. I can keep myself happy and somebody require me. Now the huge world is showing me infinite possibilities like an open world video game. Life is not linear." So basically that she looked at Ghostwire Tokyo like it was like her, almost like her own child. Which is sad that she's leaving, and who knows what that could mean. That's pretty much all I saw. I don't think there was any other updates from that.
Doesn't look like it.
But the article continues. In response to an inquiry about Nakamura's departure, ZeniMax offered the following statement. Quote, "We can confirm that Nakamura-san has decided to leave Tango, and we wish her the best of luck in whatever is next for her. Tango continues to be led by the legendary Shinji Mikami and his talented team in the development of Ghostwire Tokyo. We look forward to sharing more on what they're creating in the coming months." And they didn't say anything about who the new creative director is. Who knows if they've even decided, or if they're still deciding on that internally. But either way, that doesn't really sound good for the development of that game.
Yeah. It is sad. She was very because I mean I'm one of the many people that didn't really know of her until she was on E3.
Yeah, same here.
But she was cute, and like you could tell she was really excited about the game, and it's kind of sad to see her go. But I mean, it's possible she might have found better opportunity.
Yeah. And when she went up on at E3, the fact that it's just sad that she's leaving, that she left just because the trailer for that game alone was really intriguing. It looked like almost like that trailer showed kind of like, I couldn't help but think of the Thanos snap from Infinity War, because a bunch of people in the trailer were just like disappearing out of nowhere.
Right, yeah, they were just like clothing and stuff just kind of like laying around.
Yeah. And then that weird ninja dude at the end saying something about he said, "Don't fear the unknown, attack it." I think that's what he said, but like I was super intrigued by that. But with her leaving, when a game loses its creative director, that's not a good sign for the development, usually. Because the creative director is basically the captain of a ship, and when the captain of a ship abandons ship, it spells bad news.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually a pretty good metaphor, because what could happen is if the captain of the ship abandons, a lot of people will abandon along with it.
Yeah.
So hopefully
And
that won't happen.
yeah, and she mentioned something. I want to say it was on the LinkedIn post. To message her if you want to work for her, or work with her, and it's like, whoa, that's pretty bold. um, but yeah, from basically the gist of this is like, yeah, like you said, when someone abandons ship, a lot of that crew goes with them. I have no idea. I don't think anyone really knows what's going on internally over at Tango, but I'm sure that a couple people probably abandoned ship to follow her.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be really unfortunate for that game, because it sounded like she really, really loved working on that game, and who knows what the reason is for her leaving. I'm sure it's not good, but I'm sure we'll hear more about that later on as more news comes out.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. This is another article from gamesindustry.biz. This is by Matthew Handrahan. Team Rocket event pays off for Pokemon Go. It says, a special event in Pokemon Go restored its monthly revenue to the halcyon days following its launch, according to data from Sensor Tower. At the end of July, Niantic introduced invasions by familiar franchise antagonists Team Rocket to the game, and the Pokemon Go audience has richly rewarded the decision. Sensor Tower's estimates put the game's revenue for August 2019 at $110 million worldwide, a 44% increase over its total in August 2018. So 44% higher than what it was this same time last year. Just pretty wild.
That's good though, because I mean, I remember saying, a few podcasts ago that I felt like it was dying, so that's good.
Yeah, this was definitely a big spike. But the article continues saying it was also the game's fourth best month for revenue on record. The only 3 months where Pokemon Go earned more were July, August, and September 2016, the period immediately following its launch. In terms of global revenue, that made Pokemon Go the fourth highest earning game in the world in August, according to Sensor Tower, behind, in descending order, Honor of Kings, Fate Grand Order, and PUBG Mobile. The Pokemon brand received another product in the mobile space at the end of August in the form of Pokemon Masters. DNA's game reached 10 million downloads 4 days after it launched, and Sensor Towers estimates that it has earned $20 million in that period. So Pokemon Go had a pretty good month.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Are you still playing that game or no?
No, I'll call him Z, my husband Z. He had picked it up a little bit. Like, he's not like as crazy as we used to be into it, but he would just, play it every now and then. And he did show me like how like you could just go somewhere and it'd kind of be like and like be like, oh look, it's Team Rocket, and then you'd have to like fight Team Rocket. And I thought that was that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't get back into it, but it looked like it would have been fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I still haven't played it since like those first 3 months that it launched. I tried to get back into it, but it's like any game like that I never really got into.
Yeah.
Just because I never have time to actually go out and play it. I'd rather just, if I'm going to be playing a game, I'd rather just stay home and play like, I don't know. I've been playing Control a lot, so I guess that, or anything else that's kind of in my backlog.
Right.
But I mean,
Well, I mean,
that's
he doesn't go out to play it. He has a third-party app that allows you to walk around with Pokemon Go without actually having to walk around. He's a cheater. Yeah, he's a cheater. As long as he cheats on games and not me. Nope, just kidding. But I mean, so like, I mean, it's like it's not like crazy like with the cheating. Like I know our other friend, like he's been to like Florida and like Tokyo, and it's like you jerk. Like he had like all the Pokemon that you couldn't get in America.
Wait, so like he actually traveled to those places, or
No, he did with the cheating app.
oh, okay. Yeah, that sucks. Boo.
Yeah.
Don't do
Boo,
that.
cheaters.
It takes the fun out of the game. Although you do end up being able to brag that you have a Pokemon that you can't get in the States, but you got it by cheating, so it doesn't count.
Right.
But yeah, I haven't played it in a while, but I mean, good for Pokemon Go. Obviously, that's quite the achievement. It's is it high? What did I say? Was it higher than its original 3 months? The only 3 months where Pokemon Go earned more. Okay.
Yeah.
So didn't quite beat the initial months, but August 2019, so the past month was the highest it's been since the launching months, which in an earlier episode of this podcast we talked about what was it? I think it was between Pokemon Go and
and the Wizarding World.
Yeah, the Wizards Unite.
Wizards
That's what
Unite.
it's called.
Yeah.
The Harry Potter game didn't even come close to what Pokemon Go's initial earnings were. Pokemon Go's initial earnings were insane. Like the amount of downloads in that first couple of months, and just on its launch date, were insane.
Oh yeah.
But then when you look at the graph, it drops off very quickly. Because it kind of played off that initial hype. Like everyone's like, holy crap, you can go outside and start catching Pokemon. This is what we've wanted for
since 20 years.
Yeah, since we started playing Pokemon when we were kids. But it failed to hook a lot of people. Like, yeah, there's that initial hook and that initial onboarding, but it's like it didn't have much to offer outside of that onboarding process.
Right.
So it's like once the hype and the excitement of having this game where you can actually go around and catch Pokemon, once that initial hype died off, everyone just kind of started to realize, oh, that's it.
Well, I think the other thing that also plays into it as well is that it came out in like July. So a lot of people who were playing, I mean, there were adults obviously that played, but
yep.
I mean, a lot of people who also played were kids. So like after a few months, people were either back at work or they were back in school or, whatever. So like it was that summertime, fling that also helped get Pokemon going. And then once summer stopped, it was like, wham.
Yeah, and it just kind of fell off. But yeah, so a 44% increase over its total in August 2018. So a year later, it's gone up 44%. And I'll have the actual statistics in the video version, which you can see a pretty clear spike. There was a little bit of a wave where it went up during the summer of last year.
Yeah, probably when they like introduced the raids and stuff.
Yeah, you can see spikes where they launched some new stuff. So like, you have that initial hype of just over $250 million in the first couple months. And that's for July 2016. That's when it launched, and then it went down rapidly just within that year. And then there's been spikes. So like between March and May 2017, That looks like March. So May, I want to say, of 2017 is where it was at its lowest. And then it had a little bit of a spike, and it's gone up and down since. But then you look at last month, August 2019, and all of a sudden it just shoots up a little bit.
Right.
Who knows where it'll go from here? Maybe it'll continue to go up. But I think the launch of that Team Rocket thing got a bunch of people to come back, because it's like, oh, it's Team Rocket. We actually get to fight Team Rocket. That's been our Pokemon fantasy since we were kids. It's like
take down the giant corporation.
Yeah, but outside of that, it's like once the hype of Team Rocket goes down, it's gonna kind of have that same effect of, all right, well, there's not really much else that I want to stick around for. So,
I mean, it's not just the dying of Team Rocket. It's, it's going to get colder soon. And I mean, if you live in a colder state, obviously, but it's going to start getting colder soon, and not many people are going to want to walk and when it's cold or raining or snowing eventually.
Right. Yeah. Once fall kind of starts to give way to winter, then that's going to be less and less people wanting to actually play outside.
Right.
At least with their phones, kids will go out and play in the snow and whatnot, but
right, yeah.
But outside of that, no one's going to be playing Pokemon Go as much.
Right.
Which I think they plan for, at least in those specific areas of the world where we do get colder winters. Up in the Midwest or even just up north. But I mean, like out in California or Florida or southern states or other countries that don't have to deal with cold winters, they'll still be playing, I'm sure. But outside of the Team Rocket thing, it's still going to be like, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out in the later months, or in the coming month rather. Kind of where that goes from here. I'm sure I'll be following Sensor Tower's estimates on it. If I can. Yeah, I've got the link actually. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure we'll talk about it more going into winter. But let's move on to the next one. So this is another article by Matthew Handrahan. It says it's Nintendo teases Switch peripheral focused on physical exercise. This kind of came out of nowhere.
But I'm also super excited for it.
Yeah, it looks weird, but in the same way that Wii Fit was weird, and then it was a huge hit. I played it like every day for like, I don't know, a good year and a half or so. Like I was consistently playing Wii Fit.
Yeah. It was legit.
But so the article says Nintendo has teased a new peripheral for its Switch console, which seems to amplify and extend its motion control functions. Yesterday, which was would have been yesterday from the article.
Oh, then I don't know.
Would have been September 5th. So yesterday, meaning September 5th in this context, Nintendo released a video that shows the new controller in action. The peripheral is split into two parts, a wheel and a strap, each of which can house a Joy-Con controller. The video depicts people in various countries using the controllers, with the wheel gripped in the hands and the strap attached to the thigh. Many of these activities involve physical exercise, running, stretching, aerobics, and adopting yoga-like positions. Nintendo will reveal more details on September 12th. If you're listening to this now, that's should be tomorrow if this goes up on time. Nintendo will reveal more details on September 12th. That's this Thursday. But the very fact that the name and precise nature of the controller were not included is significant in itself. A teaser preceding a full announcement is a tactic often employed with products considered to be a major launch. The physical exercise depicted in the video is also familiar territory for Nintendo. The most obvious example being Wii Fit, which was a huge hit back in 2008. Since then, the Japanese company has made frequent references to its interest in promoting health and quality of life through its products. In 2014, former President Satoru Iwata proposed a whole, quote, integrated hardware-software platform business around these values. This included a sleep monitor product that ultimately never materialized. Yeah, so all they showed was just this trailer showing off what it was without showing any of the screen.
Yeah, they didn't show any screen at all. It was just watching people move, but they showed a lot of different ways that they move.
Yeah.
Which is what I think piqued a lot of people's interest.
Yeah.
Because like sorry, like Wii Fit. So I mean, you have your board, right? So a lot of stuff that you could do with the board would like aerobics, you did yoga using the board, and you did just kind of like basic movements on or like kind of partially on the board. I feel like this one is going to allow you to do so many more movements because it's strapped to your leg and you're holding a wheel.
Yeah. Plus, with Wii Fit, it kind of did have its weaknesses. Like, as far as aerobics didn't work all that way. I mean, it worked pretty well for what it was. But like anything more intense, like when you were there, I know there was a game that I liked playing all the time on Wii Fit where you're just running. It's just like a light, you just kind of jog through a Mii island or whatever.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, and you could like see your Mii's going through. Like you'd like be like, "Hey, friend."
Plus there were little hidden Easter eggs if that was a game that you played relatively often. I would do like a 10-minute thing like every day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go certain ways, you'll see like a little Mario sprite like on the bridge. Or that's the only one I can remember at this point. But there would be like little there were little Easter eggs hidden throughout the whole island. So like there was this thing that you could do where you would follow a dog instead of the path.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you run really fast in the beginning, your Mii character will start following a dog, and that dog goes on a different path. So it's like depending on how you started the jog at the beginning of that little mini game, you could take a different path based on which dog you followed. Which made that a lot more fun. Plus it got you to sprint at the very beginning.
Right. Yeah, up your heart rate.
Yeah. So you could sprint at the very beginning and you're rewarded with a new path. And then you can relax from there.
Yeah.
But halfway through,
it was a really good way to get kids active.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved that game and I didn't mind any of the activities. Like I loved them all.
Yeah.
Like if you had asked me to go run outside, I'd be like, no. But you asked me to run in place on Wii Fit, I'd be like, heck yeah, why not?
Yeah, so
I mean,
it definitely
it's obviously a little different, but still.
Yeah. It's going to be a little bit different than actually jogging, but you're still jogging in place, and as long as you're like actively trying, like instead of just the game isn't really that game was brilliant in the sense that there really was no reward for cheating. So like if you just shook the Wii remote instead of actually jogging, you really didn't get anything out of it.
Right.
So it's like the game was more rewarding if you actually participated. It wasn't like Wii Sports where you could just kind of cheese the Wii remote motions, which I thought was brilliant because you get no fun out of that game if you cheese it. When you actually actively participate in the game in the way that it was intended, it's way more fun and you're getting exercise. So I thought that was which I thought was way more I thought that was brilliant because it would reward the people that were actually playing it, both
Right.
intrinsically and extrinsically, because you're getting actual exercise and the game's more fun.
Right.
And that game really hooked that really hooked me, because I would play. It became part of my daily routine. I would do like a half hour of Wii Fit every single day, which I wish I still had, because I know I could use the exercise now more than I did then.
Welcome to getting older.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fortunate to be in decent shape, but
yeah. No, I do. I know we're supposed to hear more about it on the 12th, correct? Which is
in a couple days.
Which will be Thursday of this week. So I'm excited to hear more about it. I'm hoping they give a little bit more. I don't really care about what's on the screen necessarily. I mean, it looks like there's plenty of activities. And if it's anything like Wii Fit, it'll be cute and fun. I'm hoping they'll be like coming this winter, because I know come wintertime, I'm not going to want to go to the gym as much because it's going to be cold.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to have something to do at home other than like your average, buns of steel on YouTube.
Yeah. And by the sounds of it sounds like they may want, like, if they bring back the Wii Fit trainers, with the Wii Fit trainer being in Smash. I feel like they're gonna bring them back.
Yeah.
So the
that
Wii
would
Fit
be smart.
trainer, the Wii Fit trainer will probably end up being in whatever this game is. And I know I'm gonna want to play it.
I called the male one Bob after Bob Harper, the male fitness dude from Biggest Loser.
Oh my gosh. I never gave him a name. I just always, actually, they were just, whenever I was playing Wii Fit, they were just this being that walked me through the exercises.
Just an athletic entity.
Yeah, just some athletic entity. So yeah, there's going to be more on that on the 12th, and I'm sure we'll end up bringing it up next week as well to talk about it.
Yeah.
But moving on, Niantic agrees to combat trespassing Pokemon Go players. So getting back to Pokemon Go, I guess I should have put that in a different order.
Yeah.
So anyone who has actually just about anyone, you didn't even have to play Pokemon Go to know that there was some controversy that went on with Pokemon Go's launch, with people trespassing or getting into car accidents and breaking what should have been obvious rules. Don't play Pokemon Go while you're driving. If you can't text and drive, how the hell are you going to play a game and drive?
Right.
But yeah, don't do that. And of course, the dead body thing. Apparently, I remember it being in the news a while back that a group of kids came across a dead body while playing Pokemon Go.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
That
must have been scary.
That must have been very disturbing. You were just looking for cute Pokemon.
Look, guys, it's a dead body.
Anyway, so the article says Niantic has agreed to implement a new reporting system to combat Pokemon Go players trespassing on private property. As reported by the Register, Niantic says 95% of complaints issued through the website will be handled within 15 days. Additionally, Niantic will not place new Pokestops close to single-family homes and will remove any existing ones. The commitment follows the settlement of a class action lawsuit first brought against the developer in 2016 when Pokemon Go first exploded, and the media was awash with stories of trespassers, car crashes, and dead bodies. The nuisance litigation was brought forward by 12 plaintiffs in the U.S. who had grown frustrated by trespassing Pokemon Go players. One plaintiff even reported multiple people knocking on their door, asking for permission to catch Pokemon in their garden.
It's insane.
Yeah, if you're playing a game, don't start don't do stuff like that. I mean, if it's your neighbor and you know your neighbor, that's a totally different story. But don't just walk up to some stranger's house and ask if you can go into their backyard. That's weird and kind of rude.
And also unsafe. Like, you don't know who lives in that house.
Yeah, exactly. Continuing, the article says, while Niantic did not accept liability, it will pay a total of $4 million, most of which will go toward legal fees, leaving the 12 plaintiffs with $1,000 each. Which, when I read that, I thought about that for a second. It's like, holy crap, that's a lot of legal fees. Well, when you're in a class action lawsuit, that's usually a pretty big bill. But anyway, according to the settlement, the plaintiffs will not pursue further litigation against Niantic, as there is no clear precedent on how virtual items intersect with property law. So this is kind of almost like a little bit of a wrap up of what happened a few years ago with the launch of Pokemon Go. Obviously, some crazy stuff happened that they couldn't have predicted.
Well, no, you never really think about how stupid people are gonna be, unfortunately.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of Niantic's mistake on sort of underestimating the stupidity of a lot of people. In the future, anyone making a game like that, just assume that there's going to be a ton of really dumb people and plan accordingly. And I guess that was one of them. But yeah, there's no excuse for the car crashes.
No, I know there was like quite a few on highways, I think.
Yeah. Don't play Pokemon Go and drive. Well, they did fix that pretty quickly.
Not really, though. I mean, yes, their attempt to fix it, like it says, like where it like knows how fast you're going thing.
Yeah.
But there's a button that says I'm not driving, and you can just click that and play the game anyway. I'm not saying I do that, but that's what I mean. If the same people who were driving and playing Pokemon Go, like there's nothing really stopping them from doing it.
That's more or less I think that's more or less Niantic's way of just like
covering their butt.
Yeah. I mean, they issued a warning. They said, hey, I can see that you're going a certain speed. If you're driving, you should not be playing this.
Yeah, I think it was like faster than 15 miles per hour.
It might have even been slower than that.
Actually, no, because I think they kept it a little bit higher for skateboarding or biking.
Yeah. It might have been. I think it was 15 miles per hour.
That's what I said, right? I said 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 15 sounds about right. So yeah, if you're listening to this, don't play Pokemon Go while you're driving. Please be careful.
Is your life really worth that Pikachu? No.
I don't know if it's the Pikachu with the hat.
No, Corey, it's not worth it.
But the one with the hat's so cute.
It is cute. If it's really that worth it, just pull over on the shoulder.
Yeah, obviously I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. I don't even play the game anymore. But but if you do, but if you do, please send me a picture of your Pokemon with hats, because I think that's adorable, and I don't have the patience to play it myself. So
yeah.
Anyway,
this summer it was like a summer Pikachu, and he had like a sun hat, and he was like kind of a little bit more tan. It was kind of cute.
I love stuff like that. But yeah, if don't play while you're driving. Please be careful if you're biking while doing it. Make sure that you're still looking. Like don't just go into autopilot and focus on the phone. Please be aware of your surroundings while you're playing. Yeah. So that's coming to a close, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But I would say, speaking of Nintendo, but I keep forgetting that Pokemon Go isn't part of Nintendo.
Not technically Nintendo.
But getting to kind of the main topic of this week, Nintendo had their September Direct on the 4th, which would have been last week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a huge one. There was so much going
a lot
into
of stuff
it.
came out of that.
I was taking notes as I was watching it, and I had to keep pausing the video. And it's like, wow, for like an hour, not even an hour, I kind of got a taste of what it's like to be it's like being in the war room at E3 when you're a journalist, and it's like, wow,
right?
you guys have to do that for an entire week. I couldn't even handle doing it for an hour. I had to keep pausing the video because like I can't keep up with this. So shout out to everyone who does that, because that is stressful.
Yeah, because they don't get to pause.
No, they have to just go.
Yeah.
Every time a new story comes out. But they've been doing it for a while, so they know what they're doing. Doesn't make it any less stressful, but holy crap.
No.
Anyway, so the direct was like I was saying, was very, very full. It was like almost like I think it was 38 minutes. I want to say it was like almost a 40-minute direct, but there's a link in the description and the show notes to the actual direct. If you haven't already watched it, which I'm sure most of you have, but if not, we're going to do a quick rundown of all of the stuff that was there. So it opened right up with the announcement that Overwatch is coming to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer for it did show motion controls will be available as well. There was one where you were driving around a wheel character. I don't know do you play Overwatch?
I don't, but I've seen it in play, so I think it'll be interesting to see how they do that.
Yeah. So I don't know who it was, but someone driving around like in a wheel or in a ball or something. I don't think it was the hamster one, but anyway, there was footage of one of the characters driving around, and you could turn the switch to steer. So it does incorporate sort of light motion controls. It didn't seem like it was super heavy on motion controls. It was just like an option, but you don't have to use them, obviously. I'm sure anyone who is going to be playing Overwatch on the Switch, I'm sure have probably played Overwatch at some point.
Probably.
Because but yeah. And then they showed more of Luigi's Mansion 3, which I got even more excited for. I played it at E3, but the demo was only like for one floor, which was the medieval floor.
Right.
But it showed a few new things. So it showed Tomb Suites, which is an Egyptian themed floor, like an Egyptian tomb themed floor. It looks like it's suites, so it's probably a floor of kind of bigger, expensive rooms. And like I mentioned before, Luigi's Mansion is a little bit different than like what the first game was, where each room had a theme. This one is every floor has a theme.
Mm-hmm.
So Tomb Suites was showed, the dance hall, which is a disco themed sort of dance hall floor, which looked really cool and really fun.
Yeah. Very neon.
Yeah. It almost reminded me of have you ever played the Lego Star Wars games?
Yeah, I've played with them a little bit.
Did you ever find any of the disco rooms?
No.
Oh, okay. So that was always like a little Easter egg in each of the Lego Star Wars games, where you could unlock a room, and if you do a certain thing in that room, it plays like a disco version of the Star Wars theme, and any of the NPCs that are in the room just start dancing.
Ugh.
and it's really funny. I
can
I
kind of
love
like
that.
hear how it would go in my head.
So yeah, that kind of reminded me of that. And the real kicker of that was the pirate themed restaurant called the Spectral Catch. And it showed a boss on that floor, which is like a spectral shark. At
I
least,
did see that.
yeah, at least it looked like it might have been a boss. It could have just been a regular ghost on that floor.
All right.
But I'm super hyped for this game.
Well, and they're also doing the what did they call it? Scream Park mode, right?
Yeah.
So like the co-op.
Yeah, it's like it looked like sort of arcade or Mario Party thing. Which is, I wrote that down in my notes because they didn't really talk a lot about it.
No.
They just kind of showed it off, like play with your friends, and it. I think it has local multiplayer. Most of the multiplayer stuff that they showed at the direct or during the direct had like a local mode plus an online mode. But
I'm assuming. Sorry, you can go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was say, like, I'm assuming it'll be like. So when I went to Dave and Buster's for my birthday, they had a Luigi's Mansion like arcade game, where you held like the poltergust and try to like knock out ghosts. And I feel like that's a lot of what Scream Park might be. Is that you'll either be on one team or the other, or multiple teams. I don't know how many there are going to be, and you'll try and just knock out ghosts, and whoever gets the most ghosts wins.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be. I'm sure that'll be one of the games. Because that would make sense. And that's what it did kind of look like.
Yeah, and there were coins too. Like you could suck up coins.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Oh, in the arcade game. I don't know.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I thought I completely missed something while watching the direct.
No. In the arcade game.
I have to go to Dave and Buster's again and play that then, because that sounds freaking awesome.
It was fun. And the poltergust like vibrated every time he picked up a coin, so it's like.
Oh, that's awesome! Like it felt like a coin bouncing around in it.
Oh yeah, it was like an aggressive like clacking.
Oh my god, I have to go play that now. That's wild. Yeah. So Scream Park looks like it's almost. I want to say that it looks a lot like sort of an arcade or Mario Party minigame mode. Which I think would be super fun. But I mean, obviously, that's not going to be the reason that I get the game. I want to play like a new Luigi's Mansion game. I still need to play Dark Moon, the 3DS one. I never got around to playing that.
I think I hit that one for like a couple months, and then I was busy with university, so I just kind of stopped. But I remember it being fun.
Yeah, when you go to a university, you miss out on a lot of games because you don't have the time.
Especially when you're full time with like 16 credits and blah blah blah. Ugh. Yeah, and that doesn't include practicing and all that stuff.
So the next one was Super Kirby Clash, which is a free to start. I guess that's what Nintendo has been calling a lot of their games are free to start.
Yeah.
Which is a little bit different than the free to play model. Free to play means that you can play it without ever having to spend any money. But it's going to be a drag if you don't. So like pretty much any mobile game is like that. But Nintendo's idea of Nintendo's take on it, the free to start means that like you get usually a pretty decent sized chunk. Like Mario Run had like the first 3 full levels.
Right.
And you could play those 3 levels up to, to your heart's content pretty much. And then after that you spend, I think it was like $10 and you get the rest of the game. So the free to start basically means you can download it and play a demo version. And then if you decide you like it, pay $10 to get the full game.
Which I think is an absolutely brilliant idea.
Well, because it kind of goes back to the roots of how games would come out. But now games need companies need better way to make money because development is rapid. Like the cost of development is rapidly increasing while the price of games stays at $60 dollars average. But that's a conversation for another time. So Super Kirby Clash is a free to start 4-player game for Switch. I didn't write a whole lot down for that, but it is out now. I think I might check it out. It looks kind of fun to play with friends. There's like over 100 like missions. So I guess that's kind of, it's like a mission or objective based game. And you just kind of play.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Not this weekend, but some point.
Yeah. It's out on Switch now. A lot of these are actually out on Switch now. They came out during the week of the Direct, but so Super Kirby Clash is probably one I might try. Moving on down the list. Trials of Mana gets a remaster on Switch. It's out on April 24th, 2020. If you've played Trials of Mana, then I'm sure that's exciting. I've never played a Mana game.
Mm-mm.
I guess there's Trials of Mana. There's something else of Mana.
Something of Mana.
I kind of want to try it, but it's not going to be high on my priority list. There's a lot of games coming. Plus, I'm going to be working full time during that time anyway.
Right.
But either way, so Trials of Mana, that's out the April 24th, 2020. The next one is Return of the Obra Dinn is coming to Switch. This one I've been wanting to play.
I don't know what that one is. So.
Return of the Obra Dinn. It won one of the Game Awards. I want to say Best Art Direction. Either Best Art Direction or Best Indie Game last year. Return of the Obra Dinn. So it won. Oops. Here's the actual award list. So it won the Game Award for Best Art Direction, British Academy Games Award for Game. I can't see it. For Game Design, and the BAFTA Games Award for Artistic Achievement. So it won 3.
Another Ori.
Yeah, it won 3 major awards. As far as awards go, it's nothing like Ori in terms of gameplay.
What I meant. Yeah, I just meant award wise.
It won a lot of art awards. And it looks like my type of game. It's a deductive puzzle. So it's like you're investigating. So the premise is you have this compass or some kind of compass that allows you to go back in time and see a specific moment in time. And the idea is the premise is that you're deducing what happened to each member of the crew, but you don't know who the crew is. So it's like you're looking for, okay, this must be the captain. And it kind of starts from there, and you're kind of deducing who killed the captain with what, and like just kind of going around the ship and figuring out what happened to everybody on the crew, how they died, as well as like any drama that was happening between the crew. And it's like, that just sounds like my kind of game. I love puzzles that make you like deduce what happened. So using deductive reasoning to solve a puzzle.
Yeah.
Like that's why I love the Ace Attorney games. Because it's kind of the same idea as using deductive reasoning to kind of poke holes into someone's testimony in court. But so yeah, Return of the Obra Dinn is one that I definitely want to try. That's been in my backlog since I started reading about it in Game Informer, pretty much. Then here's a fun one that kind of got my attention when I saw that it was by Game Freak. for those of you that don't know, Game Freak is the original designer or the original developer of Pokemon. And they have a new IP coming out. It's called Little Town Hero. It's an RPG. The music for it is by Undertale's Toby Fox. And for those of you that don't know, Undertale was made by one person, which was Toby Fox. So he wrote the music for Undertale, and he's doing the music for this too. And I know Undertale's known to have a really good soundtrack. But it comes out October 26th, and pre-purchase is available now. So I would suggest going to check out the trailer for Little Town Hero. It looks really adorable, and it looks like a totally legit RPG.
Yeah. It does look very Nintendo.
Yeah. It looks super fun. Okay, so we're gonna get into some news on games that we already knew about, or that have already been out. So Smash Ultimate, Banjo and Kazooie are now available in Smash.
I've heard they're really good too.
I've heard some mixed stuff. Like I've heard their moveset was a little underwhelming, but the characters themselves are pretty strong. I'm just excited to play as Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. I think that's freaking wild. Because I grew up playing the Banjo Kazooie games. I don't know if you've ever played those.
It's been about 20-ish years, but
like I have very fond memories of being a child and playing that. So Banjo and Kazooie are available now. So you can download them now. I don't remember how much it is, but if you have the fighters pack that came with the 5 fighters that were initially announced, Banjo and Kazooie was one of those. Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury is coming November 2019, and that's the 4th character in that 5 character pack, the 5 fighters pack. So we're still waiting on what the 5th one is going to be.
Yeah. Well, and we know that the Mii fighters are getting new outfits too.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they're getting new outfits.
And those are actually available now too.
Yes.
And one of them was Sans from Undertale. Or Samson Sans? Is it Sans?
Sans, I think.
I still have never played Undertale.
I haven't either.
That's another one that's in my backlog. But and they announced at the end of the Smash Ultimate thing, or the Smash portion, that more DLC fighters are in development outside of the 5-player pack already announced. So if you were worried about if you end up disappointed with whoever the last person is, I know a lot of these are playing to like specific audiences. Like I never played Fatal Fury, so I have no idea who Terry Bogard is. I didn't even know who Joker was. I never played whatever game he was from. And whatever the other ones were. I forgot already. But yeah, the only one that I was super hyped about was Banjo and Kazooie when that finally got announced.
Right. Which was announced at E3.
Yeah, and I lost my mind when that was announced. But yeah, anyway, so there are more DLC fighters in development outside of that 5-player pack. I'm sure we'll know who the 5th person is in the coming months. But until then, Terry Bogard is the 4th one, and that'll be coming in in November. So look forward to that. Okay. Zelda's Awakening, the Link's Awakening remaster. There is a new chamber dungeon mode.
Yes.
What did you think about that?
So I never finished Link's Awakening, the OG version. just because I believe at the time we didn't actually have a Super Nintendo, so I only played it at my grandma's house. But I did like the game. So get back to the dungeon thing. I think it's interesting. I think it's cool that you go talk to oh, son of a nutcracker. His name is slipping my mind. The gravekeeper.
Oh yeah, Dampe.
Dampe, yeah. So I think it's cool. You go talk to Dampe, and you're like, let's make a dungeon. And you can like do these, like I think you unlock specific dungeon aspects throughout the game, so you can create cooler things as you go. But I think it'll be interesting. I think it's taking kind of like the Super Mario Maker and then kind of transferring it over to Zelda.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what you can do. And I think I might play with it and then be like, hey, hubby, come try and beat my dungeon. Or whoever's over at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, I wrote down that it kind of looks like a kind of a simplified version of what you would expect like a Zelda Maker to be. I know having like a Zelda Maker similar to Mario Maker has been something that has been mentioned quite a few times that people want, which would be super cool. But at the same time, it's like, well, most Zelda games were the dungeons were very intricately designed.
Right.
So it's like it's not. Whereas Mario, just about anybody could come up with a good concept if you studied basic level design. There's a sort of an easy formula that you can follow, and if you follow that formula, you end up with a really good level design. Is something that Nintendo is known for right from the beginning. But this is still really cool because it's still, you kind of get that a little bit with what was it called, Chamber Dungeon, which I don't really know all that it is. It was kind of a short little showing of make your own dungeons, and that was about it.
I think it goes into like back into that like kind of 2D pixelated mode too. It looked like, so kind of like the original, where the new Link's Awakening is that cute like kind of 3D-ish, kind of like the chubby little things.
It looks now it's almost
I
like
think the chamber dungeons are back to the pixelated.
Yeah. I only looked at it quickly. But yeah, so the remake has sort of that claymation kind of look, which I thought was crazy that they would do that in a game. But I mean, they did that with one of the Kirby games. I forgot what it was called. But the art was the art was literally like claymation stop motion stuff.
Well, and then look at the Yoshi games too, the newer ones. Yeah. So they're definitely heading that way with a lot of games.
So that's
not for
out.
all of them, but
yeah. So that's out September 20th. That's in 10 days. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm starting to get overwhelmed and stressed out that I'm not going to have enough money to get all the games that I plan on playing in the fall.
True.
But I mean, I'll have more money later, but working full time plus having the podcast, I'm not going to have as much time to play them. But I'll get to them eventually. But this is definitely one that I want to try because I've never actually played Link's Awakening before. But I really want to, and this is definitely my chance to play it. And they also announced that new Amiibo figures will be launching on the same day. That kind of coincide with Link's Awakening, which I've never gotten into collecting the Amiibos.
No, I haven't either.
I don't have the room for them. I never really
understood the point.
They're just kind of like, they're a fun thing. Like, I'm glad that they exist because it is super fun to collect stuff like that, especially when they have like a function outside of decoration. Yeah. I think that's really cool. But I also think it's really cool that the way that they designed them was that they aren't essential for games. Right. They just add a little bit more to them. So it's like you don't feel overwhelmed that you can't afford them because it ultimately doesn't matter. But if you're super into it, it's like they're there. which I would get into that, but it's like at the same time I don't have the money to spend on all of them, and I don't have the room to display them. So there's like no point for me to get them. But I think there's 5 amiibos coming with that. I'll look them up really quick. I can't find it now. There is okay, so I know there's definitely Link coming. Which is the Link's Awakening version of him. But I'll have a picture of it in the video version of the amiibos. But if you watch the Nintendo Direct, they actually show the amiibos that are coming.
Looks like Dark Samus is coming. Richter, Spectre Knight, King Knight from the Shovel Knight series. Plague Knight, Simon, Crom, Incineroar, Snake, Ivysaur. So these are the ones coming soon. So Snake, Ivysaur, Link, Squirtle. There's only 4, but those are coming on September 20th.
Oh, I thought they had like specific Link's Awakening ones. Okay.
Well, the Link's Awakening Link is coming. But
okay. I thought it was like a group of ones that coincide with it, but it's just a bunch of or a few amiibos in general coming on the same day.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm looking at Nintendo's amiibo website, the lineup.
Okay.
So that's all that shows. So I mean, unless they surprise us with something, which they could.
Okay, I could have swore that I saw like Link's Awakening specific, like 4 or 5 of them, but I only caught a glimpse of it, so I might have completely made that up in my head. As I was writing stuff down. But yeah, if those are coming out September 20th, and those are the ones that I saw. And I do know that Link is coming from Link's Awakening, as you said. So new amiibos coming that day. I'll actually have a picture of that lineup on the video version so that you can see them. So that's Link's Awakening. Next is Dragon Quest 9S. Excuse me, Dragon Quest 11S. I always mix that up.
Yeah.
There is free DLC in the form of the Champions Pack. So it comes out with free DLC, it sounded like. And that's out September 27th. And a free demo for it is out now. I've never played a single game in the Dragon Quest series. I don't think I ever will. I
haven't really either. The only time I ever played Dragon Quest was when the cute little demos would come in like cereal boxes back in the day. That's it.
Had Dragon Quest ones?
I'm pretty sure they did. I feel like I played Dragon Quest. No, wait, is Dragon Quest only on Nintendo? Maybe I'm thinking something else. Because I thought I played. I thought there was a CD that came for PS2 in a cereal box. I thought that was Dragon Quest, but I could be wrong. Like this would have been like 20 years ago. Or 15 years ago.
It does say, it's Square Enix, so it
so it could have been PlayStation, yeah.
It could have come in PlayStation.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So yeah, that's probably the only time I ever played it then. And it was just a demo.
Dragon Quest published as Dragon Warrior in North America until 2005.
What? I mean, maybe it was called that, but I don't remember ever reading Dragon.
Yeah. So that's coming out September 27th. There's still a lot to cover, so we're just gonna just kind of rapid fire these. I'm just gonna kind of rapid fire these. So next on the list was Tokyo Mirage Sessions FE Encore. I'm assuming FE is Fire Emblem. It's a turn-based game about making it in the entertainment business. It's available January 17th, 2020, and pre-purchase is available now. You can see a trailer for it online. Just look it up in YouTube. this one was apparently surprising for a lot of people. Deadly Premonition 2. Oh, no, Deadly Premonitions 2. My bad. A Blessing in Disguise. It's available sometime in 2020. They don't have an actual date. But Deadly Premonitions, if you're a Game Grumps fan, was one of the most hilarious series they ever did. But Deadly Premonitions Origins is out right now, which I believe is the first game or like an update of the first game. It looks like an interesting game, but it doesn't look like a good game.
Yeah, I don't know much about it.
Just looking at like some playthroughs of it, it just looks like the UI is very weird. Like the UI is just, I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, Divinity Original Sin 2, the definitive edition. Cloud saves are shared between Steam and Switch. So like if you have it on Steam, if you have a cloud save of it that can that crosses over to the Switch, which I think is really cool, especially with an RPG game like that. And it's out now on Switch. Divinity Original Sin 2 is another one that's on my backlog that I want to play eventually. Have you ever heard of that?
No idea.
You've never heard of Divinity Original Sin 2?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I think it has to do with Dungeons and Dragons. I want to say it had something to do with that. Maybe not. But it has the same sort of premise, I guess. But it's supposed to be a super, super good role-playing game. I know Dan Tack over at Game Informer raves about that game. And he's like the go-to like D&D type person. And he can usually be pretty critical of games. Like I think he seems to be like one of the tougher critics there.
Mm-hmm.
But he gave Divinity Original Sin 2 a perfect 10. So I think that says a lot about that. So that's one that I definitely want to try. I don't know if I'll get it on Switch or if I end up getting it on PC, but it's out on Switch now, so check it out.
Plus, if you ever decide to, it's got the cloud share, so
yeah. Yeah, so I don't think I even have it on Steam, so but either way, I lost my place on the list. Doom 64 is coming to Switch, which is a weird one.
Doom 64.
Yeah, so Doom 64 was the Nintendo 64 version of Doom. I think it was a different game from the original one. But Doom 64 is coming to the Switch out November 22nd. And Pete Hines from Bethesda was there to announce that, or he was on the video at least. So that's coming to Switch. Rogue Company, which is from High Res Studios. If you don't know who High Res is, they did what did they do? Paladins, they've done Smite and Realm Royale. They should have more. If you've ever played Smite, that's sort of their MOBA. Paladins, that's all.
I played Paladins for a little bit.
Okay. I think I played Realm Royale at some point. That was their version of Battle Royale. It's kind of interesting, but and getting to kind of the bigger ones. And Rogue Company's coming in 2020 at some point. I don't know when. They don't have the date, but so getting into some of the more bigger announcements. Pokemon Sword and Shield had a little bit more details. They announced that character customization is coming to the game, and they showed
Awesome.
that off. So like they have different outfits and different hairdos, and you can even add like different types of makeup and change your eye color, which I thought was interesting because, well, that's just more customization pretty much.
Yeah, but it's
And
not just, you're not just paying red or blue. Like you actually kind of get to make yourself, which I think is cool.
yeah, like there's the customization looks pretty hefty. Like it's not like what Pokemon Go started off as, where you're just choosing an outfit or something,
Right. Yeah.
and it's like that's it. That's not customization. You're just picking an outfit, and that's it.
Right.
This is a lot more robust in terms of customization. You can change your hairstyle, your hair color, your eye color, the type of eye that you have, your outfit,
A little bit
and
more
not just
immersive.
and not just one outfit, but like you can change your shirt, you can change your pants, you can change your shoes. Like it's like an actual customization system, which is really cool to have in a Pokemon game. Um, Pokemon Camp is a new mode where you can actually play with Pokemon. Where you can play with Pokemon, almost Nintendo style. So
Which
you
is
can
adorable.
you can pet your Pokemon, you can feed them, and you can play with other players in this mode online. So you can have other players in the camp with you playing with their Pokemon too.
Which I feel like this was a thing that they maybe trialed in Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee. I think there was something similar to this in that game.
Was there?
I think so. Like there was like kind of like a little realm area that you could put your Pokemon in and you could like trade and stuff like that. And it was where you could also trade between your Switch and Pokemon Go.
Okay.
So I think they kind of trialed it in there and then broadened it to what it is now.
Okay. So they kind of had an idea of that or a concept of it to just kind of prototype it or kind of test the waters on it for wait,
Yeah.
which game did you say it was in? Let's
Let's
Go
Go
Eevee.
Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like if they did do that, then that must have been like a way to test the waters for Pokemon Sword and Shield. Which it looks pretty fun. Uh this might I don't know if I'm actually going to get Pokemon Sword or Shield yet. It would be the first Pokemon game that I've got like mainline Pokemon games since the original Gold and Silver. So it's been a long time since I've actually played a dedicated Pokemon game.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to jump in on this one or not, because I do kind of miss it. With everyone still playing it, it's like I kind of feel left out now.
Right.
I don't know yet. I'll see, but this looks like a cute little mode that might hook me. Maybe, I don't know. Then this is a weird one. Cooking can be done in camp mode, but you're making curry, and that's it. It's just like 100 types of curry by what it looks like, and it's like, is that it? Just curry and or curry on rice? I guess is a popular dish in that region, that Pokemon region.
Yeah.
So I guess I forget the name of the region, but
I think it depends on the game, honestly.
I think both games take place in the same region. I think it's kind of like back in the day when like the games that coincided with each other. So like Pokemon Gold and Silver or Green and Red or Blue and Red in the US, Blue and Red or
Right.
Diamond and Pearl.
Sounds
I
right.
think like each of those took place in their own region, and the games that came out together were in the same region. So like
It's the Galar region.
yes, that's it. I guess curry on rice is a popular dish in that region. I guess that's in the lore. So the idea is you can cook, but it's like a bunch of different types of curry on rice. Nothing else. I don't know. It looks interesting, but I thought it was kind of weird that it was just you're making a bunch of variations of the same dish. So it's like, all right.
I feel like Brock would be a little disappointed.
He would well, if there's a lot of food, I think that he'd still be fine.
True. He just liked to cook.
Yeah. But either way, it looks interesting, but I think it's weird that it was just the one dish, just a bunch of different types of curry. But and then they showed in the direct, they also showed 2 new Pokemon. And I detailed a little bit of what they showed. But so Poltergeist is a Pokemon that disguises itself as tableware, and its body is made of tea. So that one was that one was a little weird. But it was a cute Pokemon. Literally just looks like a teapot. And then the other one was Cramorant. Cramorant, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Which is a flying water type Pokemon that will swallow anything that can fit into its mouth, and has a special ability called Gulp Missile that it performs by catching a fish while performing Surf. If it takes damage with a fish in its mouth, it'll shoot the fish at its opponent like a missile. The way that they showed that in the actual trailer was that like if you perform Surf with that Pokemon, or if you get that Pokemon to perform Surf, there's a chance that it catches a fish, and it'll show that it has a fish in its mouth. Then if Cramorant gets hit with a fish in its mouth, it'll automatically throw the fish like a missile back at the Pokemon.
Yeah, like basically it looks like it projectile vomits the fish out.
Yeah, but it acts as a countering move, which I thought was kind of interesting. So when you're looking at it from just a design perspective without any context, it's basically anytime you perform Surf, there's a chance of countering, of performing an automatic counter attack when it gets hit next. Which I thought is kind of interesting, especially once you put the context to it. I think it adds a little bit more to it. Are you gonna get Pokemon Sword and Shield or no?
I've been debating because I'm like you, where the last Pokemon game I bought, I believe, was Silver. I did get Let's Go Pikachu because there was a demo, and I really enjoyed it because it's basically Pokemon Yellow, but in like 3D mode, which was super adorable. And you got to pet Pikachu. And it was cute. It was really cute. But I know it's different from the usual Pokemon games. So I am debating it. I know our friend Clock is probably going to get it. So he might talk me into it. But if I do get it, I'm going to go with Sword.
Yeah, I'm still debating on it. I know Sword was like the super popular, like Sword was the most popular choice of the two when it was first announced. I think a bunch of news outlets did, by news outlets, I mean like IGN, Kotaku, stuff like that, did kind of did a poll on which one was more popular. Which one are you going to get? Are you going to get Sword or Shield? And Sword had double the amount of people choosing that one than Shield. And I just felt bad for Shield. So I was like, all right, if I get this, I'm going to get Shield just because I feel bad that no one wants to play it.
Well, it's not necessarily, it's not like, I don't know, and it might be a weird reason for me, but like, it kind of goes back to like other games, just how I feel personally. Like it goes back to other games. I grew up with Zelda, so like I grew up with like a sword in my hand kind of thing. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like when you're choosing in Kingdom Hearts to pick the sword, the shield, or the magic, I always chose like the sword.
Yeah, so
Like
did I.
it's kind of like growing up. These are the things I always had. So like for me choosing sword or shield, I'm gonna go with sword.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's probably a weird reason. It's got nothing to do with the Pokemon, even though this does look kind of stupid. But but yeah, it's more of me as a gamer compared to, you know, the Pokemon themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought the Sword and Shield legendaries looked like just their design was underwhelming. Like I'm used to seeing like these crazy designs like you know, the legendary birds back in the original games, or
Yeah.
Ho-Oh and Lugia from in Generation 2 were insanely and well designed legendaries.
Right.
And then these two just look underwhelming.
But
Like they
it's like,
just
if you think about it, like how many Pokemon are there? Like a gazillion.
hundreds. Yeah.
There's
I
so
think they're
like
in the thousands at this point.
yeah, so there I think it's just there's so many there's only so many things you can do when you're creating these fake pocket monsters. You know? So like they're kind of running out of ideas. And I think that's why Pokemon have
Yeah.
been kind of like declining as like aesthetic looks and powers and all that kind of thing.
They're having to think outside the box a little bit, like the teapot one. There's one that literally looks like there's one that literally just looked like a food. I forgot what it was. Oh, there's one that was like it's like a gelatin or something. Or am I imagining
I
that?
don't know.
Oh, maybe not. Just kidding. There's like
Just kidding.
there was one that like looked like a cake or something.
Oh, I think I kind of know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it's called though.
Every
Because like
time
I
I look
said,
up,
I haven't
yeah.
memorized all gazillion Pokemon.
Well, that didn't help. I just got a bunch of Pokemon themed birthday cakes. All right. Anyway, but there's 807 Pokemon in total at this point in time.
How many?
807.
That seems low. All right.
Yeah, that does seem low. For the last, like, what, 25 years now?
Yeah.
It came out in
93 or 97. I feel like it's one of those two.
I think it was 90. I think it was 96 in Japan and then 98 in the US. First generation creatures introduced in the 1996 Game Boy games, Pokemon Red and Green. And Red and Green came out in Japan, and then I think it came out as Red and Blue in the US. But either way, so the new Pokemon game, Sword and Shield, comes out November 15th. I have no idea if I'm going to get them or not, but
yeah.
Moving on. So, the other thing that they announced was that Super Nintendo games are now on Switch Online, and that actually launched that day. I remember being super excited when they announced that finally coming. And I already played Super Mario World on it. But so the list it started out with 20 games. So there's 20 Super NES games on the SNES app, which the Super Nintendo is a different app. So if anyone was wondering where those games are, go on the online store and search for Super NES because it's a different app than the NES one. My guess is either they're going to do something where they lock the Super NES games behind a higher paywall later, which would make sense. Which I'd probably still pay for it because right now it's only $20 a year, and I only had to pay. I'm only paying $7 a year because I'm on a family plan with my cousin and 4 other people. So I paid $7 for a year of Switch Online. So if they put this behind a paywall in the long later on, it might go up to $30 a year, which still
it's still not bad.
Not bad. I'd still easily pay that. But
Yeah.
so the beginning list. So this is the list of the Super NES games that you can play right now. You have Brawl Brothers, Demon's Crest, Joe and Mac 2, Lost in the Tropics, Kirby's Dream Land 3, Star Fox, Super EDF Earth Defense Force, Super Mario Kart, Yoshi's Island, Super Puyo Puyo 2, Super Tennis, Breath of Fire, F-Zero, Kirby's Dream Course, Pilot Wings, Stunt Race FX, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Mario World, Super Metroid, Super Soccer, and The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So it's got a bunch of hits on that list.
Oh, yeah.
Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Link to the Past, Super Metroid are all major hits.
And Pilot Wings, too, honestly.
Yeah, Pilot Wings, too. Same thing with Kirby's Dream Course. If you're a Game Grumps fan, Kirby's Dream Course is definitely one that you've heard of. That's like one of their most popular series, and I'll rewatch that every now and then. But it looks like a super fun game. And also Star Fox. The original Star Fox was actually a little bit of video game history. Star Fox, if I remember correctly, was the first time polygons were ever used in video games, or at least in home-owned ones. Yeah, because the Super Effects chip allowed them to use polygons instead of pixels. So that effects chip was basically the beginning of going from bit-based art to polygonal art. It ran pretty rough at the beginning, so the game didn't age well, but at the time it was revolutionary. First time polygons were used in games. Yeah, I don't remember. I can't find it right off of the search, but if I'm wrong about that, I'll make a correction. But I'm pretty sure that Star Fox was one. It was easily one of the first to be, at least on a home console, the first time that polygons were used.
Yeah. And they later got turned into Lara Croft's boobs.
Yeah. Those spiky things. Okay.
Triangles.
Yeah. Because then once it went to the PlayStation focused more on polygonal art.
Yeah.
Whereas the Super Nintendo was still mostly bits, which was the 16-bit era, and then after that they went to full time using polygons for the Nintendo 64. But if you're interested in more on that, I would suggest reading a book called Replay: The History of Video Games, which is like the entirety of the video game, kind of the entirety of video game history up until just before the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One era began. So from the beginning of the industry all the way up to there, and it even starts with technology from the 40s. But anyway, that's off topic. But so it's out now. The Super Nintendo app is out now. Another thing that's part of that is a rewind function was added. So like,
what?
Yeah, you can rewind, I think, up to like 20 seconds of gameplay and redo it. So like you
for
can
any of the Super Nintendo or for any online Switch Online.
Oh no, just the Super Nintendo.
Well, that's cool though.
I think. I don't know if they're going to add that to the NES emulator, but so there's a rewind function. If you hold down the two shoulder buttons, you can rewind up to a certain point and replay something. So it's like You can literally rewind and redo something, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, life is strange much?
Life is strange, but in the actual game rather than being a core mechanic.
Right.
Which kind of breaks the game, but it's like, I mean, obviously you don't have to use it if you don't want to.
Right.
But it's there if you do. I don't know if they added that to the NES one, but I thought that was kind of interesting. And I actually discovered that before I watched the direct. I started as soon as it was launched. I got it and started playing Super Mario World, and I hit a button, or I hit two buttons, and all of a sudden, just this video rewind thing came up, and I'm like, "Wait, what is this?" And I messed around with it, and then it rewound the game, and I was like, "Holy shit!" or "Holy crap!" That's so I just kind of came across it, which was weird. There are more games coming later. An SNES controller is also coming, but it works like a Pro controller rather than a set of Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
I thought they were.
It looks
they
pretty
were
cool
gonna,
from what I've seen.
Yeah, I thought they were going to come out with like Super NES controller Joy-Cons, but I guess that's not coming. At least nothing yet. But so it works like the Pro controller, so you can plug it in to recharge it via the USB like the Switch console does.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote details on the controller release, but I don't think details on the controller's release will be coming later. I'm not sure when it's actually coming. I don't think it's out yet, but you can pre-order it sometime soon. Switch controller. If you go to special offers on Nintendo's website, it should be on there. It says coming soon, Super Nintendo Entertainment System controller. So it's not available yet. It said now you're playing with Superpower. Enjoy enhanced Super NES games the way they're meant to be played using a full-size Super Nintendo Entertainment System style controller, available for purchase only by Nintendo Switch Online members. This wireless controller offers the perfect way to play these classic Super NES games. So it's an exclusive offer for anyone with online. I don't know how that works. But
I don't know.
Stay tuned for something like that. I'll have a link to the special offers thing on Nintendo's website. I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, going on down the list. Tetris 99 got some new updates. It's getting an ultimate mode, but it's not going to be available until you reach Maximus status, which is, I guess that's
so it's like an unlock thing.
Yeah, you have to unlock it. So I will probably never see it because I'm not that good at Tetris. Tetris is fun, but when you watch like a master of Tetris play, I don't know how they can comprehend that so fast. Yeah, so if you're a hardcore Tetris player, that's something that'll end up available to you because you'll unlock it. But a challenge mode to unlock, there's going to be a challenge mode where you can unlock new themes for the game. They showed like a Mario themed Tetris one, a Zelda themed Tetris, classic Tetris looks. So that'll be really cool. There's going to be player icons that you can unlock. And there's a second wave of paid DLC coming that includes 2-player battle mode, local arena mode, and it's available now. So that paid DLC is out now, and that unlocks 2-player local battle mode, local arena, stuff like that. Yeah, so that'll be cool. Have you played Tetris 99 that much or no?
Nah, I played Tetris back in the day, and then I was like, this is just not for me. And I just never really touched it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. I like Tetris, but I'm not great at it. It's fun, but
yeah, it's fun, but like I can't hold my attention with it that long.
I think the highest I've ever gotten was like I've gotten into like 9th place on Tetris 99. But at that point, it's just it's moving so fast that it turns into a very, very stressful game. It's intense. It gets super intense. All right, Mario and Sonic Olympics 2020. I guess there's going to be retro events with classic sprites. So you're playing like super old school versions of Olympics. It looked kind of interesting. I didn't really get a whole lot on the Olympics game, but there is going to be a story mode as well. So check that out. Daemon X Machina, that's coming. There's a prologue game out now. Save data in the demo will carry over to the full game. There's a co-op mode with 4 players, also available with local wireless. Supports online play, and that's out September 13th. And I'm just kind of rapidly go through some of these so that we can get to the main one. But
yes,
Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast is coming to Switch. That'll be out on the 24th of September. Witcher 3 Complete Edition that includes all DLC. That comes out October 15th. Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Rogue are coming out in the Rebel pack, I think. I don't know.
Okay.
All DLC is wrong one. Assassin's Creed Black Flag and Rogue are coming to Switch on the 6th. Dauntless is coming to the Switch in 2019. True crossplay will be coming to all platforms. So you'll be able to crossplay with all your friends on different platforms. I think that included the PS4 as well. And there will be frequent content updates. Okay. There's more games coming in 2019, and this was just kind of a rapid fire. Just Dance 2020 is out November 5th. Grid Autosport is out September 19th. Farming Simulator 20 will be out December 3rd. Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch will be September 20th. NBA 2K20 September 6th. Call of Cthulhu will be on October 8th. The Outer Worlds didn't have a date. It just said coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Devil May Cry 2 will be coming September 19th. And Vampire will be coming October 29th. And the big one that they ended it with kind of a lot of details on Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Yay!
This is the one that I wanted to get to. The rest I didn't really care about other than, but like I said, this direct was jam-packed with a lot. So Animal Crossing New Horizons, they showed quite a bit with this. I thought they showed it, the way that they showed it off was kind of cute. It was just Tom Nook showing a promotional video for this island experience that he's showing off, which kind of added a little bit of story context to it. But it looks like this game is basically just Animal Crossing meets Minecraft, and it looks freaking adorable and super fun. So I'll just kind of go down the list of the stuff that I wrote down, and then we can talk about whatever ones that you're excited about. So you can set up a tent pretty much where you want, and that's basically where you establish where your home will be. The Nook phone, this one kind of stood out to me because it's kind of like that's how they put into context the UI system. So it's basically a cell phone that Nook gives you. So Nook phone is the primary UI system. There's a crafting system to make tools. So like you can make tools out of wood and stone and stuff like that, just like you would in Minecraft. Nook's shop will buy unwanted items, including weeds that you pull. It's basically their way of promoting recycling and kind of environmental positive stuff. You can earn Nook miles through a, quote, host of activities on the island and exchange them for special items and recipes. And I highlighted recipes, but we'll come back to that later. You can do the normal stuff like fishing, bug catching, tending flowers, and whatnot. And flowers can actually be picked and used to make garland, which they actually showed in the trailer, and probably other things as well. Weeds were shown to be used to make an umbrella. You can make a pole and pole vault across a river, which I thought was really good for convenience.
Yes.
Because getting around a river in the original games was a pain in the butt because you'd have to find a bridge. But there's also a much more detailed weather system, so you have your normal weather stuff, but the trees actually blow in the wind, which I thought was a really nice detail that they added.
And the things fall from the trees. Like sticks and
when you shake you can get like branches and stuff.
And I'm sure I could be wrong, but I think things can also fall when the wind blows them too. I think.
I don't know if they showed anything in the trailer, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was part of it too. I hope that's part of it because that would add a little bit more to the immersion. But so more detailed weather system. The rain looks amazing. And here's the real kicker: 4 players can play on one system locally, which I thought was really cool. You can play up to 8 players can play together online and visit other players' islands. There's a really interesting photo mode where you can take group photos and stuff. And it's out March 20th.
Too far away.
But still, only a few months.
Yeah.
5 months-ish. What's this month? The 9th? September. So we still have October, November, December. Months. Yeah, so 6 months away, which isn't that far. It's still kind of far. But anyway, so they ended the direct with a trailer for Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. And they just kind of ended with a little bit of a trailer there. So that's something to look forward to. But the real big thing was how much detail they showed in Animal Crossing. It was like a good 5 minutes.
Yeah, I watched the video. It was cute.
I'm very, very excited for this.
Well, I really like that you can set up a tent wherever.
Yeah.
Because like in the video they show them just set up on the beach, which was cool.
Yeah.
Like you want beachfront property, there you go.
Yeah, you can just pitch the tent wherever.
Yeah, and because it's nice because like in the originals, like there was like this like little, I guess you would call it a neighborhood, kind of.
Yeah.
Then you had like your choice of like 1 or 2 houses, I think, maybe.
I had 4 houses.
4 houses, yeah. So you had your choice, and I mean they were cute, and it was still like a fun game. But the fact that you set up shop was really cool.
Yeah. I'm very, very much looking forward to this. I'll be honest, in the initial announcement of Animal Crossing, I don't remember when it was. It was I think it was sometime before E3, where they originally showed off Animal Crossing. I could be wrong. I don't remember when it was, but when they first showed Animal Crossing New Horizons, I was a little bit skeptical about the fact that it was on an island. I thought like, okay, this isn't what I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be more like a full-blown Animal Crossing game. And then they showed this past week, and it's like, yes, this is what I want. This looks
it's
awesome.
huge. There's so much you can do. I mean, I have like, there's a lot of questions I have like with the crafting to make tools. So like, you don't have to buy tools anymore. Nice. I'm sure you still. I mean, it's Nook, so I feel like you still have to pay to make tools somehow.
He'll figure out a way to monetize it, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. Not that Nook's necessarily a bad guy. I mean, he gives you a house and a loan, and you're so whatever.
He's a businessman first and foremost.
It's Mr. Rossetti that you gotta look out for. But anyway, but the tools, like, I kind of wonder, like, are the tools gonna like fall apart when you use them a certain amount, and then you have to go more tools, kind of like in Minecraft or other possible games like that? Or like, is it once you make it, you've made it kind of thing? So that's one of my questions.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think they actually showed. If
Probably
there
not.
is, yeah, if there is a durability mechanic, I'm sure it'll be similar to Minecraft, where like it doesn't, it adds to the whole survival aspect, but doesn't hinder the experience because it's not like the durability of the objects aren't, or of the tools aren't unfair to where like you can't really do much. It I didn't see anything that would indicate that they have a durability. I just think maybe like certain tools can only do certain things, or certain levels of tools can only
Which
go up
makes
to a
sense.
certain point. So like you can't like you can't harvest stone with a wooden shovel. Um but I mean in the original game, if you have the original axe, if you keep hitting rocks or anything that you can't chop, um you'll break it.
Yeah.
Um Actually, I think that's with anything. If you use it too much, and you can crack it and it'll break. But um, I think maybe if that is a part of the tools, then I think um maybe I don't know. I didn't see anything for that would indicate that anything has durability, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Because it does look like they're kind of going toward like what Minecraft was, but you have the
Or just
community that
survival games
was,
in general, but yeah.
yeah. Um
Yeah, and the pole vaulting is cool. The fact that you can completely dig up and replant a tree is legit. You're
yeah.
like, I don't like where this tree is, move it. That's cool.
Oh, I completely went
Um,
over that. uh I forgot that I wrote that down. But yeah, they you can literally dig up a tree and move like the whole tree. I think they showed that you could do it with a fruit tree too without losing the fruit. So you can literally dig out a full tree and replant it somewhere else, which I think is wild. Uh
yeah.
and because if a tree is in your way in the original game, you just had to chop it down
Mm-hmm.
and plant
Yeah,
a new tree somewhere
I feel like
else.
they've gone very like environmentally friendly with this
Yeah.
game,
Um yeah, because
which is cool.
there was the whole idea of using weeds and flowers to make stuff, or to even sell. Like you can pick weeds and sell the weeds to Tom Nook,
Right.
which you're making money off of cleaning up the town, which I think is a more kind of gives an incentive, or it's their sort of their way of promoting um living green and
Mm-hmm.
taking care of the environment, which I think is what we need right now.
Right. It
But
is cool though because I know I would pick weeds all the time in the other games,
yeah,
but I mean you just picked them to get rid of them if you were like OCD about,
yeah.
like that was it. Like they're you didn't get anything out of it.
Um, well, the original one, you earn the golden axe by keeping the environment clean.
Oh,
So like, or
that's right.
by keeping the town clean. So like, making sure that any garbage that you find is in the dump, or um, picking all the weeds, making sure that everything looks nice, making sure that your people are happy and whatnot, that your villagers are happy, and just making sure that you're not leaving crap everywhere. Um, but one thing that I did highlight from this was they mentioned recipes, but didn't really explain anything further. Um, or excuse me, I took that out of context. There are recipes like in general, but uh, one of the things that popped up was when they mentioned Nook miles, that you could exchange miles for special items and recipes, and I'm guessing that they meant special recipes, and I'm wondering
Probably.
what they mean by that. I don't even know where to begin to speculate on that, but
Yeah. I
I'm
mean, it could
sure.
be. It could just be recipes to make new tools or something, or it could
Yeah,
be food. I mean, there's so many different ways. I mean, if they go back into designing your own clothes. It could be something like that.
Yeah.
Like with the Able sisters.
Yeah. I wonder if they're even going to be in this.
I don't know.
They could be.
There's a lot of things they can do. They're being very good about teasing us, so.
Yeah. And this game just looks it does look like they needed that extra few months of development.
Oh yeah.
Because this looks pretty wild. But yeah,
well, that's the thing too with Nintendo. Like if Nintendo's like, I've learned to be like, you know what, take your time, because they did that with Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild became a beautiful game.
Yeah, a lot of people have talked about how like it's one of the best. It could go down in history as one of the best games of all time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ocarina of Time is still considered one of the best video games made ever. Same thing with Link to the Past. But Breath of the Wild will go down in history as probably an even bigger one. But we've wanted, at least anyone who's been a fan of Animal Crossing has wanted an Animal Crossing game like this since, I don't know, whatever the last one to be like a full-blown Animal Crossing game was.
The 3DS one was pretty full-blown, I think.
I never played the 3DS. The last one that I played was Wild World, I think, which was the second one.
I played the 3DS one. It was pretty good.
I tried Pocket Camp. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't for me.
No, I didn't do that one.
Because I wanted like an actual Animal Crossing game, and that wasn't it. So it just kind of left me feeling disappointed. I guess I was just expecting a lot more than what it was.
Yeah.
Which, if you have fun playing
Animal
it,
Crossing
then
New Leaf. That was the last one.
Okay. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. I'm gonna be. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be playing that one a lot, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers all that was.
Yep.
But we have been recording for like over 2 hours, so we'll kind of wrap this up.
Yeah, well, I have to go anyway, so.
Yeah. I've been playing, like, as far as what I've been playing kind of the same stuff. I was focusing on Control most of the weekend. That's about it.
Yeah, oh god, did I play anything this weekend? I was so busy this past weekend. Yeah, I don't honestly think I played anything this weekend. So, yeah.
I think I played a little bit more of. Played a little bit more of Snake Pass. Actually, I did play Overcooked with my brother and his girlfriend. We played like the first 3 or 4 levels of that, but
was it good?
Yeah, I never got around to playing it just because I had no one to play with. So, but we're playing the original one. We're not playing Overcooked 2. This one's older. I think 2015 or 2014. I don't remember. When did Overcooked come out? The first one came out 2016. And the second one came out, I think, last year. But I've been wanting to actually play through the full game. But hopefully we can get through it before I leave. But yeah, I haven't played a whole lot. Just mostly Control. But yeah, I think that pretty much wraps up the podcast for this week.
Yep.
So thank you guys so much for listening. You can find the podcast. You can find the podcast page on Facebook, on Twitter at BigSlice Games. You can find the audio of it on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify, and you can find the video version of it later on YouTube at BigSlice Games. You can follow me on Twitter at Strobe Official. That's STROBBE Official, all one word. And Jessica, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter. It's Phoenix Lee JS. Or if you're interested in seeing any of my photography stuff, it's JL Boone Photography, and that's on all handles.
And you can find all of those in the show notes and in the YouTube description, and you can follow us on there. Leave a like, comment, share with your friends. Follow us on all of those so that you can stay updated, and we will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.